a very special guest in the building. One of my friends from college, Majaz.
Hello, everybody.
So today I brought him on the show because I wanted to do a discussion about dating in 2020. So he has an Instagram Live, and if you want to...
An Instagram live show is me and my best friend Snacks. It's called By the Gram. We do it every Sunday, and basically all we kind of talk about is the other side of what it's like being a millennial, especially now. A lot of people try to, put on and talk about, at this stage of our lives, it's about, buying a house and getting some business started in your name and things of that nature. And being that that's important, that is important, there's also another side to it. And that's just kind of what we discuss, like relationships, marriage, dating someone with kids, things you probably really don't think about on a day-to-day basis, but living, in 2020 at this age, between your mid to late 20s, stuff like that is important. Finding a partner is important. So it's just, we kind of discuss things like that. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. It's on IG Live every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
You also want to give them your...
Oh, yeah. So my Instagram is M.M.Muwakil, and that's MUWWAKKIL. That's my last name. So I know somebody's like, oh, that's a long ass.
So y'all go check that out because it actually is very, very, it's great conversation. It's funny. So a lot of people from college will be in the comments, giving their perspective or give a question and they'll answer it and we'll all talk about it and say how we feel. But it's really a good conversation because it's a lot about dating, sex, relationships, and love. So we're going to kind of go through some of the topics that they discussed and some of the topics that I came up with my own. But this time it's going to be me giving that female perspective while he gives that male perspective. So it's going to be a really good show. So y'all keep watching. Okay, so I guess the first question that we can discuss is how much of yourself should you give in the beginning when you first meet somebody, like the first few months or two, y'all are dating heavily,
right.
like what can you expect in those first few weeks or months?
So let me make sure. I always like to repeat the question to make sure I'm answering what's being asked.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking me how much would I give someone, or how much should you expect someone to give? Because that's two different questions.
I think how much should you expect someone to give when you're first dating them in the first weeks and months?
I feel like you shouldn't put an expectation on stuff like that. And I say that because prior to you dating this person or prior to you meeting this person, they had a life before you.
That's true.
So, you know what I'm saying? After, y'all have been dating for some time and you kind of get, to understand why this person does the things that they do and what type of person that they actually are, I feel like then you can kind of judge it and see how it's basically going based off of that. But I feel like if you set an expectation for someone to be completely open to you within the first month, 2 months, that's kind of like, that's kind of pushing it, because just because you may be willing and open to, give your full self, you can't expect another person that comes from a totally different background, that y'all just happen to cross paths, to be able and willing to open themselves up just as much as you. So I feel like it takes time.
But what if it's a situation where they come in on your same page?
So if they come in and y'all are on the same page, I feel like that's gonna basically be how y'all's relationship goes. I feel like there's not I know people say, oh, are we moving too fast or things moving too slow? I feel like if it works for y'all's relationship, there's no such thing as too fast.
That's true.
Because if me and you are on the same page, we could be, going 90 miles an hour, and for someone else, that might be too fast. But for us, it works. So I feel
but there's another thing of where, like, men will come in at full speed, and then once the woman is reciprocating that energy, the man kind of pulls back. Like, so as a woman, should you, no matter how much full speed they're coming in, should you still kind of be reserved and, and pull back until you really know this is solid?
In 2020, yes, I would say yes. I would say yes. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because there are, I don't, but that's like, That's on some different, like, niggas are playing. Okay, sorry.
No, you can say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's on some, like, niggas are playing, games. Like, stuff like that is like for niggas who just enjoy the chase, and it's like I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I've never been like that, but I feel like after a certain point you get to where it's like the chase, that's cool, I guess, or whatever. You want to see how interested and how invested someone is into you, but after a certain time, it's no longer about me chasing you. I feel like it's about we're working together in this, and I feel like. Yeah, you should be kind of like reserved and hesitant.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just going to be based off what people are bringing to the table. Because I feel like anybody can talk. Like anybody can say what sounds good. If you're a good talker, I can make something sound good. But I feel like you should really base it off of what the person is actually doing. Because actions, in my opinion, speak louder than words. Granted, words are pretty loud, so you want to be, careful of what it is that you're actually saying. But it's like if you put two people, two males right next to each other, and you give them a script, and they read the exact same thing to you, made you feel, a type of way, and like, he said X, Y, and Z. One person did the things that they said that they were going to do. Another person didn't. It kind of goes to show you that anybody can say it, but the people who want to do it are going to actually be the people who actually do it.
But there are men that come in and their actions and words align. Right. And then when you give them that energy, they're
them some lame ass niggas. Like you can't you can't really, like, at that point, it's not on you. Like, it's not anything that you did or didn't do or can do better. You know what I'm saying? That's just not the person that is literally supposed to have your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might have been, like, yeah, this was cool, this was good, but it's like, if you're not going to continue to do the things that you're saying that you're going to do, and it's like, when I'm giving you back the same energy, if you're not going to, like, accept that.
But why do men do that? Is it that they get close and then like, oh, I'm not ready for this? Like, I thought I was, but they get scared.
In my experience, niggas are just, niggas like to talk, like niggas like.
But when their actions and their words align.
Right. What I'm saying, like, niggas don't know what they want. Like, that's just first and foremost. Niggas really don't know what they want, and it goes to, like, you really don't know what you actually have. Like, people, I feel like men are very visual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be with an attractive woman, and then you see other attractive women, and be like, oh, well, I have to be with them too. And it's like, that's not really how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there are other attractive women out here, but this is your attractive woman. This is the person that you're with. So I feel like.
So what
niggas
does it
don't
take
really
for
be
a
about
man to be ready and know what they want? Because I feel
it's
like
gonna take for that nigga to be ready and know what he wants. It's not gonna you can't do anything. It's not something, and I feel like women fall into a place where it's like, well, I can have sex with a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can have sex with him and get a relationship out of that.
And we're gonna go through that.
And that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? That's not you will end up losing in the end. That's just point blank period. You know what I'm saying?
Snacks actually mentioned something in I think the talking stage video that y'all did. He said something like women shouldn't initiate the exclusive talk or the being in a relationship because you want to make sure the man is ready, and he might not be ready if you initiate it, but he might go along with it with fear of losing you. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like women shouldn't feel like they have to wait till someone else is ready to get what they want out of a relationship. Like, if you're dating and you want to take it to the next stage and become exclusive with someone, I feel like if you voicing that causes a complete breakdown of your whole relationship, then that person probably isn't, like, regardless of even if they're not ready right at that moment or like today to be in a relationship, if the fact of the matter is that it completely ruins the whole relationship. I don't feel like that.
Like
That's
he starts
the
acting funny,
yeah. I
like
don't
that.
think that's the person that you should actually be spending your time with, because that's not something that's not a red. Wanting to be in a relationship is not a red flag
Right.
to me. It's not something you should look at like a character flaw, or like, oh well, yeah, that's something that's kind of off. Like, no, she just don't want to continue to just date, and she wants to be in a relationship. Well, I don't see the
Well, a
problem.
lot
with
of women are scared because of societal's, roles of ideology of a man should do everything first. And a lot of women are scared to express that because they're like, okay, I don't want to run him away. I don't want him to think that I'm desperate. I'm pressing.
Right. I feel like when it comes to like when you're dating and when you're with said person, I feel like that y'all's communication is going to be everything, and that's going to be like a very important part of just day-to-day stuff that y'all are going to go through. And I feel like with communicating, it goes along with like effective communicating, because that requires comprehension and like making sure that you actually understand what's actually being said. So I don't, what society says, if you want something out of a person, whether you're dating them, or you want to take it to the next part, or the next phase of y'all's relationship, I don't see you expressing that, and whether they're receptive to it or not receptive to it, I don't see why, or I wouldn't want women to not do it because they're afraid it might run the person away.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
just not.
You said something like you're releasing your power when you don't.
Yeah. Essentially, you're giving the other person that power to basically run the relationship. Just because you don't want to. If you are waiting on me to be in a relationship, then I'm just. I'm gonna take my time, like what I'm saying, because you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? You're giving.
You're going with the flow.
Yeah, exactly, going with the flow of things, and it's just like that's just not smart. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, in my opinion, that's just not. You're not allowing yourself to have any say when a relationship is a two-way street. It involves more than one person, so I feel like it should be a mutual thing. But you saying I'm waiting on this person takes your ability to kind of do anything, because it's like you're that's all you're gonna do is wait until said person is ready. And
so what's a good time frame to even have that conversation of like, okay, we're exclusive, or we're in a relationship,
right? I feel like that's dependent upon the people. I feel like going too fast for one group of people would be going too slow for another group. So I feel like you shouldn't kind of base it off of, oh, well, I think this is going too fast, or I think this is going too slow. If it's working for the both of you, then I feel like you all should keep whatever pace that works for you all. Now I feel like if one person feels like it's going too fast, another person feels like it's going too slow, then that's a communication issue that needs to be worked out.
But let's go back to a lot of people say a woman shouldn't be too available. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so what does that mean? What does a woman being too available look like? Please tell me what that looks like.
Like being available every time you ask to hang out.
That maybe she just wants to hang out with you. Maybe.
Okay, let's not act like men don't actually make that a thing.
Being too available, I can't say that's not a thing, because apparently it is, but I feel like I view things like just differently than the average person, because if I want to spend time with you, if I want to go out with you, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna make whatever time happen. Like I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I get everyone's busy. Like being busy. Who's not? If you're not busy, then that's actually a problem. Like an issue.
And that's being too available. You don't want to think that. I think that you're not
no,
busy
I
enough,
disagree.
And you don't have nothing but time to be with them.
No, I don't. I would never look at it like every time I want to hang out, every time you want to hang out, it's like you're just too. No, I'm sorry. That's just not something that I've never experienced. Like a woman being too available in regards to the time that she has free, because like availability and free time aren't the same thing. So it's like I can be available if you want me to be available,
because I can make time for what you want.
I can make it happen. Like,
but
it
is
may
it
not
okay
be
for a woman to initiate y'all hanging out?
Absolutely, there's no problem. I encourage women to do it. I encourage women to shoot their shot. Because I feel like when you do that, you take the power of said person, and now you put it in your hands. Now you're not wasting your time. You're not just receiving the things that are thrown at you. You know what I'm saying? If you're just waiting for people to hop in your DMs, you know what I'm saying? You are literally not initiating any type of. You're just taking what's being thrown at you. You're the people who are DMing you, and you know what I'm saying, you haven't gone out and said anything to said person that maybe you want to go out with. Maybe you want to spend time with that person. So I feel like I encourage women to do it. Shoot their shot, because I feel like it saves a lot of time in the end, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so the next topic is, why do men change after the first few months? Like, were you dating their representative, or did they feel like it was moving too fast? Did they get scared? Or why do men fall back? Because that happens a lot.
Why do men fall back after what was it?
The first few months.
After the first few months?
Because let's not act like that's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay.
Because that's usually around the time where the woman super enters.
Right. I would say in my experience, because that's all I'll ever be able to speak for is my experience,
right,
and things that I've, actually come in contact with, heard, this, that, and the third. But I would say men tend to fall back within the first few months, because true intentions start to come out around that time. It don't take, that long. Because I feel like if you about somebody and you want to be with them and be around them, it doesn't matter if it's been, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, your intentions will remain the same because you enjoy being around that person. So I feel like if someone starts to, fall back, their intentions were never really there from the jump. Everything just sounded good. And I've heard situations, from my women friends that it's like that's usually the case. They'll meet a guy, things will be going great, and then after, said amount of time, things start to change, and things start to, look a little different, and the little things aren't there anymore. The good morning text messages, the making time, because like I said, I understand everyone's busy, but with as many forms of communication that we have these days, it's like, a simple text message at the beginning of the day can change the whole outcome of a whole, I'm not going to be by my phone today, whoop to whoop. Like, I get that, you're not going to be able to speak with someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because people have lives, but at the same time, I feel like being in communication with another person isn't that hard. I feel like it's just the part that makes it hard is that you just want to or you don't want to do it.
Right.
And you just can't force people to do things that they don't want to do.
Right. And what's that line of respect in dating? Like, okay, I'm not going to do this because I'm dating her.
Right.
We're not in a relationship, but I'm going to still give her some respect where, I'm a still contact her every day. I'm not going to post pictures with another girl.
Right.
Like, of course, everybody still can be dating other people when you're not in a relationship.
Right.
But if you really like somebody, what's that respect level that not to cross?
I feel like if you...
Because people are like, well, if he's dating other people and he's like that, that's okay. And like, okay, but if you're trying to be with me seriously, like, is that okay?
Right. I feel like once that conversation is had about you all taking it to the next stage of y'all relationship, then I feel like things start to change. What it is that you should not be doing, and what are things that I feel like that is kind of like not something you should assume somebody already knows. I feel like that should be something that you should have a conversation with said person about. I don't care if it's a man talking to a woman or a woman talking to a man about, whatever it is, because I feel like, at least with me, I never want a situation to where it's like you can ever say, well, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And like,
that's true.
The only way that I can confirm that you did know is that I said it. You know what I'm saying? And that we had a conversation about it. So now it's not like, well, I didn't know that I couldn't be, doing X, Y, and Z, or that you didn't like X, Y, and Z. It's like I don't like that room for
that gray area.
Yeah, that gray
and that's
area.
Why it's important to be a person of your word.
Yeah, that matters. You gotta do the things that you say that you're gonna do, because, like I said, anybody can just talk. Anybody can make things sound good. Talking, it's hard, but it's not that hard.
It's not.
Especially if you got people that are willing to listen. It's like, anybody can get up here and say whatever it is they want to say, but it's like, what are you actually doing to show that what you're saying means something?
Right. So the next question is, should you wait to have sex, and does sex ruin the dating stage in the beginning? Like,
should you go ahead.
Like, should you wait before you take that step of having sex in the beginning?
That, in my opinion, is going to be, once again, completely up to the situation. In my head, I don't, because I feel like you can wait to have sex and turn out this person sucks, and it's just like, well, okay, well, you know, but at the same time, I feel like you could have sex in the beginning and, you know, everything work itself out. You know, like y'all's relationship is great. It just depends on how you actually view sex in y'all's relationship, and if you want to allow yourself to actually get to that point with said person. So I wouldn't say that there's a time frame on sleeping with someone that you're interested in, but that's just for me. I've talked to a lot of different women who give me a different perspective, and hey, I'm 100% in agree. If that's how you feel, I'm not here to say that you're wrong and I'm right, or I'm wrong and you're right, but that's just the way. I feel like that's gonna have to do with the nature of you all's relationship.
But do you
and
think
what
that
works
waiting
for.
to have sex with a man makes a man impatient and want to go seek it somewhere else? And
Yes, but
even though that's your choice,
even though it is, but I feel like people give sex too much power.
agreed.
In my opinion, like, this is just.
But I think men give sex more power than women do. I really do. I really do. Because a woman can talk to you for a certain amount of months and be okay without sex.
And you feel like a male can't?
No.
Honestly, you don't feel like a male can't?
No. If he does, he's going to be having sex with somebody else.
That's fair. I mean, one thing I don't do. I don't group. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't generalize things.
But you can in this.
Does that happen? Yes, I'm sure it does happen. But you know, like I said, I kind of view things differently. So waiting, not waiting, I feel like you can have good and bad outcomes for both. Like, I feel like if you wait, you know, you can get down the line and the person is just not the person for you. I feel like you could have sex with this person on the first date or whenever, you know what I'm saying, or early in the dating scene, and the person could turn out to be not a good person.
Like, it changes the dynamic and foundation of it. It, you know.
Do I feel like it changes the dynamic and the foundation?
Like, shouldn't you build that foundation? You don't think you should build that foundation first before you?
Like, so,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I do agree, and I feel like you should have some type of foundation because, well, okay, a lot of the times I speak for myself, knowing that I think about things kind of differently, not like understanding of like what actually like happened. So, in speaking from what actually happens, yes, I can say that does change the dynamic of relationships, especially going into it where it's based off of physical interaction with you guys. Like, I feel like that can definitely change, but I also feel like not having sex with someone and them being okay with you all not having sex does exist. Like, I'm not gonna say you not.
It does,
right.
But I also feel like it exists, but they're probably still having sex with somebody else, so they're not gonna press it.
I mean,
to think
yes,
that a man just out here not having sex is ridiculous.
I guess. I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but is it rare? Yes. Is it impossible? No. That's what I'll say.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Women blaming themselves after failing from dating or a relationship. How to spot when the man just wasn't mature?
It's not that hard. I don't know why. Because you got to understand that there are going to be things outside of your control in anything. And the only thing that you can actually control in all situations is yourself. So I feel like if you've done everything in your ability to save the relationship or to, you've communicated things, you like effectively, you've had conversations. I feel like you shouldn't really blame yourself because there's nothing that you could have done that's just not the person for you. I feel like
that's true.
I was always taught people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and you can really mess up a lot of relationships by trying to keep people for longer than they're intended to stay in your life.
Really true.
And I feel like people try to get it, women especially, they find someone that was supposed to be in their life for a specific reason, whatever it may be, or just for a specific time in life. And you once you've outgrown each other, it's okay to leave people right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it doesn't have to be like y'all don't have to have beef. You know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, well, yeah, we used to mess around. Now I don't like that. It doesn't have to be that, you know, but I feel like you don't really, or you shouldn't blame yourself when you've put in the effort and I'm not saying that everything you did was perfect, but if you see that there's someone that's not about the same things that you're about, it has to be a certain point in time where you have to be the person to let go. And you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people want it to be put on a lot of people want it to be put on the other person. Well, they broke up with me, so now I feel better about, you know what I'm saying, doing everything that I did, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, you should be able to separate yourself from them and know that you want a certain type of person and a certain thing in life, and this person is just not giving that to you, or he's just not able to do it, and which is fine. It's okay to leave people there and continue on about your life. But if you blame yourself for things that are outside of your control, you'll blame yourself for everything, because there's so much outside of your control that you have to really hone in on the things that you can control. And if you put your best foot forward and you do everything in your own power,
that's true.
No one can ask you for anything more than that. And if they ask you for more than that, they don't genuinely care about you, because they're asking you to do things that's outside of your own personal power.
Because I feel like a lot of women give their all in the first few months, and then
really, you think women give their all in the first few months?
I feel like you don't agree.
I'm asking. I just want to make sure I heard you. You feel like women give their all in the first few months?
I think that when a woman really likes a man, she does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you showing your best side. Mm-hmm. You know.
So you don't think that women sometimes are a little more on the reserved side in the beginning and then open up a little later? I'm asking.
You deal with women, so
I
you
do.
Better
right. So I'm asking. So but you are.
The
right.
friends that I have, a lot of my friends go into it, you know, giving a lot.
Full force. Right. And then they find that they're giving full force to someone that doesn't deserve it.
And it doesn't work.
Right. Okay.
So give your opinion on what you deal with. You feel like women are more reserved in the beginning.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because there are a lot of men out here who play games or not on, you know what I'm saying, that are not as mature. So I feel like good dudes, like genuinely, you know what I'm saying, good dudes. And when I say good dudes, I mean people and men who have your best interest genuinely at heart. You know, not any ulterior motives. You know, I feel like men like that, they tend to have harder times when it comes to being in relationships and like dating women, because they have to fight through a lot of the foolishness that, you know what I'm saying, people you know what I'm saying, and it's like it's frustrating sometimes, because it's like you have to understand that I'm not that person, but at the same time, being a man, you have to understand what this person actually went through, and you know what I'm saying, in their previous either relationships or when they were dating or what have you. So it's like, it's kind of like you have to understand, but you also have to kind of like be patient with it. And a lot of people, in my opinion, don't have that type of like patience. You know, it's like,
most men don't have that type of patience.
Yeah, they don't. And I mean, it sucks that, you know what I'm saying, that we even have to have this type of conversation, because my thing is like, if you're not ready for someone, like, stop wasting, you know what I'm saying? It's literally, you could have just left that person alone. Like, you literally did not have to, you know what I'm saying, see how good your game was and try, because I'm just not a fan of wasting time, especially like now that I'm, you know, getting older. You know, I get it, you know, life is short, you know, I get it, but like at the same time, I just don't like time being wasted, because I could have been doing something else. Like, I could have been literally not here, especially if nothing is gonna come from it, and then like at the end you're gonna go back to being strangers. Well, that's just 6 months of my life that could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? Especially if your intentions aren't pure from the beginning. You know, you may not know where it goes. You may, you know, let's go with the flow, but at least have like pure intentions, because even in the end, if it doesn't work out, it's like you can say, well, my intentions were pure and I am about you. We're just not compatible for each other for whatever reason.
So that's going to go into this question: flaws or deal breakers? What are examples of a person just being flawed and human and literally red flags?
Right.
I know for me, I know what my flaws are. I have a little temper on me.
Okay.
And I'm a little impulsive. I guess that goes into a temper. Like when I'm pissed, I'm like, you ain't shit. Like
right.
And then I'm like, hold on, okay.
Right.
I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
But that's a flaw.
Right. Oh yeah, because I feel like a flaw is something that with communication and, you know, active trying to fix whatever the issue is can be resolved. You know, so I feel like, you know, everyone has flaws. You know, everyone is gonna have something that everyone I at least hope would have something that they're improving on, working on themselves with. Because I feel like once you feel like you have nothing to work on with yourself, you're perfect. And if you're perfect, let me know.
To you, because I ain't met one yet.
Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd like to meet you. You know, so I feel like you should always have things that you're working on to get better internally, you know, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is. So I feel like those are flaws. Flaws you can kind of not look past, but you can recognize what they are and be actively working towards getting better.
But see, the thing about it is, it's like, I feel like, and you can speak for women, I feel like men expect you to be perfect in the beginning. And the minute they see something that is not perfect, oh, she got mad, so she's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna fall back.
Hey, what niggas do y'all be dating? Cause like
this is not a thing.
I'm not saying that is not a thing, but if you see stuff like that, like what is it that makes you want to continue to feel as if you can change this person?
But you might not know how that's what they're feeling.
I don't.
But they start acting funny.
Well, if someone is just acting funny, I feel like if you recognize it and you're able to bring it up, then you should. Like, hey, you know, I feel like, you know, things have been kind of weird between us, X, Y, and Z, and it can be solved right then and there. Like maybe that's just how they. Maybe they have. Well, then what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? At a certain point, people have to stop giving passes and like, oh, okay, well, if something bothers you, then say something. Like, because if you don't say something, then you're dealing with it, and now you're gonna be upset. And who do you have to blame other than yourself for being upset when you could have said something about it and it not been a thing? Because for all you know,
a red flag for a woman?
What do you mean for a woman?
Like, when you're dating somebody, what's a red flag to you when you're messing with a woman? Like, oh hell no.
A red flag.
Yeah.
A red flag. Let me see. That's interesting. I don't really just sit around all day thinking about red flags.
But I'm saying when you're talking to somebody and like you're like, this is a red flag. Like, I'm not doing it. Deal breakers.
Right. Deal breakers. So like non-negotiables.
Right, like this, like she's giving me red flags, I'm gonna fall back.
Right. I would say being petty in a malicious type of way to me is a red flag. Because it's like, granted, even if we're not on like, you know what I'm saying, even if no, that's not even like what I'm trying to think. I'm gonna come back to that one, because I have to think of an actual red flag to give you an actual example about.
So for me, a red flag from a man is a man who is inconsistent in his communication with me.
Fair.
On Monday, I talked to him that morning, and then I don't hear from him the rest of the night.
Yeah.
That lets me know you have something else going on.
Right.
That's a red flag.
Right. Oh yeah.
Or a man who can't communicate.
Lack of communication is a red flag regardless. So I mean, yeah, that is a red flag, but at the same time, I feel like that's something that
can be discussed.
Exactly. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I feel like anything can really be a red flag if you don't really understand why it's coming from said person.
So that goes back to should you discuss those things in the beginning, or should you just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell somebody that they should do this when they should automatically know?
No, you can't, and that goes back to what I was saying. I never want to leave that you should already know up, because
I agree with that.
What if they don't know? Like, what if that's not what they've dealt with up until meeting you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to meet people for them. You can't assume that this person, just because you were in a relationship and your last person did this, you can't assume that all people are going to do this. You can't assume that, okay, y'all talked on the phone, you know, every night. You can't assume that the next person feels the exact same way. You know, like,
so I
my
told
thing
you
is,
in the beginning, like, I like to talk on the phone.
Right.
And you're not calling me. Shouldn't I
That's
feel
just-
some type of way about that?
but that's not a red flag in my opinion, because you told this person what you want out of the relationship, and that's just something that they can't provide for you.
So then what do you do?
That's just not the person that you. I mean, you can try and work it out and try and, you know, get on some type of schedule. Like, okay, we can talk this time, that time, you know. But at the same time, that's going to be up to you. If you are going to be able and willing to adjust, you know what I'm saying? Well, you like, who's gonna? I feel like it's kind of like a compromise type of thing. It's like, this person doesn't like talking on the phone. You like talking on the phone.
Right.
What are y'all gonna do to make something to meet in the middle? Because if y'all don't do something that meets in the middle, then y'all are gonna create a rift of conflict, and then now what? You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna be in a situation to where it's like, this all could have been avoided with conversation, with communicating. You know what I'm saying? Well, I feel like we should talk more. I feel like we should talk. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you don't have that type of open line of communication with the person that you're dating, that's probably not the person that you should be dating.
I was in a situation where I was talking to somebody who were seeing each other regularly, but when we weren't seeing each other, we were just text. But my thing is, I also appreciate a phone call, even if it's 20 minutes and 30 minutes. And I kept expressing that, and I felt like he still wasn't calling me, and it was frustrating for me. But then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to. If we're seeing each other, I don't want to be too needy.
So you feel like communicating with someone makes you needy?
I guess I felt like, was I asking for a lot because I wanted to talk on the phone, even though we were seeing each other regularly?
So talking on the phone with the person that you're seeing regularly is being needy?
I didn't feel like,
you know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy when you say it out loud, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're dating someone, like, who else do you want me to talk to? You want me to talk to somebody else?
True.
Like, who do you want me to give this time that I would want to communicate with you to? Like, I get it, everyone's on different schedules. That's why I said you can come up with a time, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I understand you're busy, this, and this, you know, but we can find some time to communicate, especially if we, you know, well, in your case, you said y'all were seeing each other regularly, but the times that we're not seeing each other, it's like, I still would want to communicate with you. Exactly. Even if, like you said, it's for 15, 20 minutes. Like, a 10-minute conversation can change a 24-hour day. I guarantee you.
It gotta be just to hear that you say, how is everything going?
It's not. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, you know. And people want that reciprocation in relationships. Like, they want to feel like you care about them and you want to talk to them just as much as they want to talk to you. Like, and if you find someone that's not giving you that type of, you know, communication, you can have that conversation with them and just, you know, try to communicate that with them, with your wants and your needs. But don't feel like just because you have needs that you're being needy, because everyone has needs.
That's true.
And if one of your needs is to be communicated with, you're not asking for too much from that person. You're just asking the wrong person for it.
Yep. So do you think that's something where you should keep it moving if he's not changing it? Like, if you constantly have expressed this and he's still not doing it,
then that's just not the person. Like, I don't see a problem with, you know, because like
because you'll find somebody who will talk on the phone.
That's communicating with someone is the bare minimum, in my opinion.
It is.
And the bar these days is in hell. Like, it's the bar is very low.
So let's talk about the bar being low. Why do you say that?
The bar is low because I feel like niggas just niggas have really done a number when it comes to like women out here. Like, niggas, I don't understand why. Like, and part of me is like, women are allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to make it seem like I'm blaming women for it or anything like that. But if someone sees that they can only give you the bare minimum, or below the bare minimum, and you continue to, oh, well, that's fine, and you continue to accept it,
Yeah.
they're gonna continue to do it. Like they're gonna, and the fact that they already don't want to give you more than the bare minimum, that's a red flag, in my opinion. Like if you see someone content with giving you the bare minimum, that's a problem.
So explain how a man is when he really likes someone.
Oh, you'll know. You'll never have to question if a man is interested in you, if he's actually interested in you. And I say that because I can only speak from my perspective. But I say that because if I'm interested in you, I'm the type of person that never likes to leave doubt in anyone's head.
Yeah.
Because literally an ounce of doubt can send an innocent person to jail, you know what I'm saying, inside of a courtroom. So I never want to leave any type of doubt in your mind that I'm feeling you or that I'm interested in you. So I'm going to continue to do things on literally
or even
constantly.
leave the door open for somebody else to.
Literally simple conversation, because I know I'm not going to be with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got that. I completely understand. But the times that I'm not with you, I don't ever want you to think that I'm doing something else or that I'm not about you. So it's like with me, I don't like that type of like doubtful area, because I never want to feel as if you're feeling me, because I never want you to feel as if I'm not feeling you. So if it's a simple text message, if it's sending flowers, if it's anything just to reiterate, hey, I'm about you. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the love language that you receive is, if it's quality time, well let's spend time. Let's figure it out. I'm the type of person that would just literally figure something out, because if you're interested in someone, that's what you'll do. You'll figure it out. Like you'll literally somehow, some way, like there nothing will seem impossible to do. You know what I'm saying? You'll make it happen, because another thing I was always taught, there are three types of people in this world: people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who just sit around and don't know what happened. So regardless of, even if it's like not perfect, you're gonna at least see, well, damn, this motherfucker really, sorry for cursing again, sorry, but this person really is interested in me and really is invested in me, because I don't like to leave any type of shadow of doubt in your mind that I am. So if a person is interested in you, you'll know. Like they will continue to remind you how interested they are in you, and it will show through the things that they actually do, not just the things that they say. They're not going to make you feel good verbally. They're going to make you feel good like in everything. You know, simple things are going to start to feel like, okay, this person is just doing it. It comes to a point where it's no longer I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because of the reaction that I get out of you because I feel good when you're happy. So I'm gonna do things to make you happy, because your happiness makes me happy. Point blank, period.
But see, the problem is a lot of people are scared to really, be content. Like a lot of people are scared to go into it and voice those things, and a lot of women are scared to really communicate what they really want from a man. And I feel
you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that, because that's how you're gonna end up continuing to waste your time. Like that's how lines are gonna get blurred, and you're gonna continue to settle for whatever's being thrown your way, and that's not the case. You know, like have some type of understanding of what it is that you want, and if this person isn't giving it to you, have that type of conversation. Understand where you both are at mentally, because sometimes I feel like that can change. Like people are not dating people that actually like them or that they actually like. It's like, oh, okay, they're giving me attention, so I'm gonna go with the attention. Like that's not, you don't even really like this person. Like, you know what I'm saying? So stop wasting everyone's time. That's men and women. Date people that actually like you and date people that you actually like, and I guarantee you that will knock at least 40% of the problems that people have in relationships is because they're dating people that they don't like.
So do you believe that, so when you first meet a woman and go on a date with her, do you already know what she's going to be to you?
Do I know what she's going to be to me?
Yeah.
After the first, after the first date, do I know what she's going to be to me? Yes and no. Do I know what you're going to be to me? Not so much. Do I have an idea if I want to continue to go on dates and get to know you? Absolutely. But before we get to the date, I'll probably have an idea of if I want to continue our dating, I guess.
So have you ever been on a first date and said, okay, like that's gonna be my woman, like that's gonna be my girl? What happened?
Yes, I've gone on dates.
Like it went that good.
Yeah, I've gone on dates that have gone just perfectly amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you date people or you go out with people, you know what I'm saying? And who they are, I guess, texting and on the phone, you know, like I like in-person conversations.
Same.
Like I hate, like the closest thing to that is FaceTime, you know, and then after FaceTime, we got talking on the phone and then texting. I really don't like texting at all. Texting, in my opinion, is for short, quick conversations.
But not only that, I think that men text a lot, and I think that they don't understand how problematic that
I
is.
hate texting.
Pick up the phone and call.
Please.
That shows true interest.
Pick up the phone. You know what I'm saying? Call, FaceTime.
But a lot of men don't do that.
That's not okay. That's a red flag. Someone who only wants to text, that's a red flag. Because what,
you could be doing anything and text. You could be laying up with your baby mama.
You could literally, and it's not even like what you could be doing. I feel like when it comes to like actually having an effective conversation with someone, if me and you are talking like on the phone, or me and you are talking in person, the conversation is going to continue to go, like, because I'm talking, you're talking.
Yeah.
When a text message comes, you could literally text someone and not respond for 9 hours.
Exactly.
Or you could, like,
And
just leave the conversation. Like, can you imagine if me and you are sitting here talking and you ask me a question and I get up and walk out and I just leave for, like, 4 hours and then I come back and respond to the question? Like, you know, what are you talking about? Like, actually, 4 hours ago. Like, so, like, that's why I just don't like...
It's very
communicating like that. Like I feel like it's for, you know what I'm saying, moments where it's like you can't be on the phone. Like if I can't talk on the phone, then I'll text. Like if I'm at work or if I'm, you know what I'm saying, my hands are kind of like busy or I can't just actually be on the phone and it's like, hey, blah 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 blah. But a whole paragraph, 2, 3, I'm not. Who's doing? Call me so we can have this conversation, because that's how miscommunication happens. You can't really hear the diction in people's voices, and you can't see how people, like, I feel like when you text, I try and text how I talk. So like when I do have text conversations with people, I want people to hear it in a way as if I said it. But if you just met me, you won't really understand that, because you won't hear how I'm actually saying what it is I'm actually saying.
Let's go back to the red flags.
You asked a question too. No, you asked a question. I forgot. It was a question that I was getting to, but I'll be going on tangents. But continue.
Let's go back to the red flags for I feel like a lot of men have similar red flags, like things that turn men off. In the first few months, like, do you think that a woman being, we talked about being too available?
No, I feel like not being yourself is a turn off. Like, feeling like you have to put up a facade, at least with me, like, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to act like, you know, everything in your life is perfect, and
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put up a facade.
But a lot of women feel that way because it's like, they're like, oh, I don't want him to think I'm negative.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want him to think.
Well, so you have to start dealing and dating people of your caliber. You have to start.
But how do you know that?
Date. Like, you should be able to realize if someone is on your level after the first date. Like, after the first conversation, you should get something out of every conversation that you have. You should be able to walk away with something. Like, it doesn't have to be the something, you know, all great and wise from, you know, something, but you should be able to gather something each conversation that you have with someone that you're dating, because at that point you're learning about this person. And it's like, you don't know me, right? We just met, we're going on our first date, whatever. You don't know anything about said person. If you're telling me you can't walk away from each conversation in the first couple of months with something new, they lived a whole 20 plus years prior to meeting you.
That's true.
And then you're telling me you can't learn anything from that person? That's not the person that you should be probably dating, because they're not stimulating you on a different type of level, like on a level that actually makes you want to have conversation with them and want to get to know them. Because if you don't have that factor of wanting to be around a person, then it's gonna just be whatever, because you don't even want to be here. You're here because it's convenient, or because, you know, he likes me. Well, sweetheart, a lot of people are gonna like you. Like a lot of people are gonna think you're attractive. You know what I'm saying? But it's about giving that type of time to those people who actually appreciate it and bring more of that out of you.
But where is a good place for a woman to meet a man? Like, me personally, I don't like Instagram. I don't like meeting dudes on Instagram.
Right.
That's not my thing.
Right.
I'm not doing the whole, I tried Hinge for 2 weeks. I deleted it because I
Right.
had the worst day of my life.
Yeah, I don't too much do the dating apps.
I don't either. Not
I feel
even
like,
Instagram. I'm not feeling
I feel like that's how you get robbed on dating apps. I'm not really with it at all.
Or like the chemistry is usually different. in
Yeah,
person.
well, so here's the thing. It's like meeting people on Instagram. I don't mind, but it's like my thing is, Instagram is dead. Like if he's not interested in you, you know, if he is interested in you, he's gonna try to get out of your Instagram DM some way, somehow. Like we're not just about to be DMing back and forth. No. What is your phone number? Like someone's gonna take initiative. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna try and set up times and places. Granted, we're in, you know, a pandemic, and so it's kind of a little bit more. It's a little bit more difficult, if that even makes sense. But in that same mouthful, there are still ways to go around doing that. You have, like I said, FaceTime. You know, I know that, but at the same time, you have to understand you have to work with what it is that you have. And someone who's going to be willing to do that, that's going to be someone who's actually about what they say that they're about.
But say somebody like me who has tried the Instagram thing, I don't like it. I feel like I never have chemistry with the person I meet on Instagram. Where are other places that a woman can meet a man? Where do men go?
I personally be at work and I be at the crib. Like I don't, you know, going out for me, like that's cool, but it's like I'm on a different type of time. Like I don't just sit around and just I just don't like wasting time. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, so let me ask you this, and I keep cutting you off because I just keep thinking
No,
of
it's fine.
different things.
Hey man, this is your show.
What? You've dated a lot of women, right?
Sure.
Not relationship, dated.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Why do you think you're single? Why didn't you make any
Lord.
of them your girlfriend?
I feel like a lot of the times, at least in my experience, it's not a mutual thing. I feel like if I'm about you, I'm gonna be about you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've tried the whole dating multiple people at one time, and to me that's just like it works. I guess you know it's cool, but if I'm gonna give you, you know what I'm saying, like if you're gonna be the person that I'm gonna be dating exclusively, I'm gonna give you that time. Like I'm gonna give you the time that I would be giving everyone else that I'm
So
dating.
define exclusively.
Oh, it's just you and me. It's like I'm
Is
dating.
that a relationship?
Yes. I would say dating exclusively, in my opinion, is a relationship because
Can you date somebody exclusively and not be in a relationship? We just have made that decision that we're only dating each other.
So what's the difference between us making that decision
I
that
don't
we're
know.
only dating each other and us being in an actual
Do
relationship?
you think it's a gray area if you do that?
A gray area if you do what?
If you say we're only dating each other but we're not in a relationship?
Yes, that like that's a red flag. That is a so. What is so you have to just tell me what's the difference between me and you only dating each other and me and you in a relationship. If you could tell me some differences, then I can be like, okay, I can see, but I don't see the difference of dating only one person, it's me and you,
Yeah.
and being in a relationship. The only difference is that
The title.
title. Literally, you don't want to be called a boyfriend and you don't want to be called a girlfriend. But if a title is going to be the reason that you don't date someone exclusively, you don't need to be dating because that's just like
That's true.
that-
What
that's
is the
just-
difference, I guess?
I don't find one. I can't find one.
I don't either.
If you're dating,
People just always say that.
I don't see the difference. I feel like you're either dating like multiple people, you know what I'm saying, and you're just going out on dates.
Yeah.
Or if you're dating one person exclusively,
Yeah. Let's go back to
Y'all
why
in
you
a
said you
relationship.
think you're single.
yeah, a lot of the times, like I said, in my opinion, it just hasn't been like a mutual thing. Oh yeah, I was
you
saying,
always like the woman more, and
yeah, I feel like it.
I think that it's supposed to be right.
Well,
that way, right?
Well, you can say that it's supposed to be like that, and sure, that's fine. But at the same time, it's like more and all is two different things. Like I can like you more than you like me, but you're gonna have to do something to make me feel as if like
You
you're
also
still
like me too.
exactly that you're interested in this relationship,
60,
and that
40.
you're 60, 40, 70, 30, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But like you have to meet me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So and somewhere enough for the person to where it's like I'm personally a fan of like, okay, people say, you know, everyone like match my energy. I don't like that. I don't like that type of terminology, match my energy, because my thing is if someone's giving you 30%, are you gonna just give them 30%? Because at that point you're wasting time.
Well, I think
my
there's
thing-
a double standard with men and women in a relationship. I think that the man should always give a little more.
Okay.
So I don't technically, but I do think, in a sense, a woman should match the man's energy to a certain extent.
Okay, even if you feel like the man should give a little more, that's perfectly
You don't
fine.
feel that way?
Sure. Like to me, I don't look at it like that. Like I don't put like a value on it. I feel like I'm gonna give you me, and this is just who I am. Like I don't do things, and I don't, give energy based off of the energy that I'm getting from someone. I'm gonna be me regardless. And once I realize and once I understand that we're not on the same page and you can't give me as much as that then it's like, okay, well, this probably isn't the person that I probably want to be with, because I'm not gonna allow your energy to affect mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I like you, you're gonna know that I like you. I'm gonna vocalize it and voice it, so it's not gonna be any doubt. But at the same time, it's like you have to be understanding of like this is a relationship. This is this is a two-way type of ordeal.
Well, we're talking about in the beginning.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, you're gonna have to give something. You're gonna have to,
Yeah.
at least let the other person know, even if it's not with, even if you've had some type of thing happen in the past, and it's like you just have to communicate that, like, hey, I just want you to know that I am interested in you. It's just I'm taking it slow
Yeah.
because of X. That is communicating. That at
Yeah.
least lets me know that I'm not just tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you're just ignoring me, or you just don't
Yeah.
want to, or that you're not interested in me. Because if you don't do anything, then I'm not gonna know. And if I don't know, you can assume anything.
One thing I've noticed is a lot of women are more ready for relationships than men and are just more mature in general. Do you agree that a lot of men can like you but just not be ready?
Absolutely. I feel like people have to understand that just because someone finds you attractive or just because someone likes you, and I kind of find it hard to say that you like someone if you don't really know them.
I agree that too.
It's hard to say. It's hard to be like, oh, I like her. You don't really know
But
her.
I'm saying if you're really dating, if you're talking to her for months,
Right.
but then you really like her, but you realize you're just not ready to give what she wants. Does that mean you don't really like her?
Does it mean you don't? Once again, I'm just re-ask the question.
Right.
Does it mean you do not like someone if what now?
Okay, so I think his name is I know his name is Tony Gaskins, but he says something all the time. Yes, I watch Tony Gaskins. He's like, a man says he's not ready. No, he's just not ready for you. A man will make
Absolutely.
himself ready for the woman.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
I feel like if someone says that they don't want a relationship, that could mean that they just don't want a relationship with you. I feel like if it's just point blank period. Someone's like, oh, especially if y'all have been like doing this whole dating thing for like months, and they're like, well, I don't want a relationship with you, sweetheart. You have to like the with you is silent, and you have to make sure that you hear that part because it's the loudest part of the sentence. There's no way that you spend time with someone for X amount of months and you're just like,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Is this like, are we, because especially if you in your head want a relationship. And
But
this
could
is
it be that the man's just not mature enough?
it could be. It could be a plethora of
But
things.
he just
It could be a plethora
of
of things. Well, if you want to just do you too, then you don't want a relationship. Like it's just you can't. Oh, I want to be in a relationship, but I also want to do my own thing and date other women and sleep with other that you. How is it that you want both? You know what I'm saying? It's like and I feel like if they want to be in a relationship with you, they will do things to let you know that they want to be in a relationship with you. It's not people are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. Like you cannot make someone do something that they do not want to do. So if someone wants to be in a relationship with you, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it, it's because they don't want to. Like it's not. It's like people try to put these type of theories, and they just don't want to. They just, you know what I'm saying. And if they communicate that with you, and they're communicating things with like, and what I will say, the only catch to that is if they are saying that they do want to be in a relationship, but are communicating things with you. You know what I'm saying? They just want to take it a little slower because of previous. Cool, no problem. But they at least said something to not have you thinking and being confused all the time. Because people who leave you confused and not knowing, those are not people that you need to be around. Because someone who's about you is going to make sure that you know that they're about you. And that part I can speak for me, because if I'm about you, I'll make it known that, hey, you're the person that I want to date. You're the person that I want to be with. You know, that's not really something that I leave up for discussion, because you could, when you're not talking to me, you could create your own things in your head about, well, is this person, I want to kill all of that. I don't want there to ever be a time where you're asking yourself, does Majaz like me, or is Majaz interested in me? The answer will always be yes, you know, but it's not good enough for me, at least, to just say that. I do things to let you know that I am about what I say that I'm about.
Yeah. Well, I think I've kind of asked all the questions that I have and gave my opinion. Do you have any questions for me?
Let's see. What is it that men do why do women continue to settle for men that are not on their level that they're on? Like, why is that? Is it that this person is just, y'all have known each other for so long? Is it you don't want to feel as if you're wasting your time? Is it because, you know, you're trying to get them to change? Like, what is it that will leave you in the predicament to where you allow someone to continually waste your time and, you know, in the end, mess up the whole relationship?
So I think that it's a lot of things. I think that number one, a lot of women don't like to put in work for a man to stop being with them and go give them what they taught them to do. A lot of women don't like to see the thought of a man being with somebody else and doing her better than he did her. So a lot of women are afraid to let go for that reason. Number one. Number two, a lot of women have attachment issues. A lot of women get attached to that person, whether it's the sex, whether, you know, it's their looks, whatever, and they don't want to let it go because they're attached to that person, and you know, they just feel like their emotions we're emotional. Men are more, y'all have more self-control. So
you'd rather, I just want to make sure I hear this right. You'd rather be with someone who you know isn't good for you, and you know y'all aren't good for each other, because you don't want to see him do right with the next person. So you'd rather keep seeing him do wrong with you than do right with someone else.
I think that's part of the reason, but I think another reason is women just aren't strong enough to let go. But a man can be cheated on. What
are you letting go of though? So because
that's a good question.
What is it that you feel as if that you're letting go?
It could be the sex. It could be the conversation. It could be the time spent.
Right, but you gotta understand that it's like, if the bad is outweighing the good, then that's not something positive.
But it always goes back to women not being strong enough.
Right.
Their emotions are already so involved that they don't have the strength to let go.
Right.
So the minute they do let go and the man comes back, they take them back.
Right.
Because we're just emotional.
Right.
And we get attached.
Right. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm not a woman, so I mean, it's always intriguing to hear.
Why are men so quick to be able to move on, though? How are men so quick to be able to let go? Because you cheat on a man, he's done. You cheat on a woman, a lot of women aren't done.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I don't know why that's the thing. You cheat on me, it's like it's certain things that that I'll let slide. You know, give second chances to. That's something we talked about on our IG Live. Second chances. It's certain things that and I feel like I give second chances for more often than, you know what I'm saying, the average person. But there are certain things like that's just like you made a decision to do that, and you know what I'm saying. If you accept me back after I cheated on you, not saying that I would do it again, but it just. That's That's
Talk about
tough.
it.
That's tough.
Do
Like,
you feel so? If a woman sets you back after you cheated on her,
What-
do you lose respect for her?
nah, not lose respect, but at the same time, you have to understand that if that person does it again, one, that's just like a double slap in the face. And two, that's completely up to the person. Like, I mean, because I feel like with certain things are, accidents, but like cheating on me, like that's a decision that you made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You came to that decision that that's what you were going to do. Okay, you can't. And that's what I kind of like put on because I'm able to charge things to the game a lot. I'm able to, things that are outside of my control. Like I could, it doesn't matter what I could have done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could have done anything to prevent you from cheating on me, especially if I'm doing everything right in the relationship. That's just something that you wanted to do.
Yep.
So why is it that I should have to take you back for making a decision that you did without putting me into consideration? You wasn't thinking about me when you was cheating on me, but if you were, that's kind of weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still went on and did it. So clearly, you know what I'm saying, my impact didn't outweigh the impact of the decision of you
That's true.
cheating on me. So when women are taking, you know what I'm saying, dudes back, I just don't want them to be surprised if it happens again. Because if it happened the first time, what is going to stop it from happening a second time? What's going to stop it?
What if she makes him work? Like, what if she breaks up with him for 6 months and then takes him back after that? Do you think it still has to?
I mean,
or do you think it should just be done?
That's up to the person. That's up to the people in the relationship. There's no type of guideline or book based on like, relationships 101. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are certain things that you should understand about relationships, but everything else outside of that is going to be what works for the two people involved. Yeah. That's just not something that you cheat on me, like that's like a one and done type of ordeal. That's just not, because that's just basically you're saying that you're that something that I wasn't giving you that was good enough. You had to go seek somewhere else. And to me, that's cool. Like, do your thing, enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's no beef. It's not like F her and she's whatever. Like, hey, I'm gonna charge it to the game and I'm gonna keep it pushing, because me being upset is gonna do nothing for me and nothing for the situation. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Like, it already happened. You can't unsleep with cuz. So like, what the only thing that I can do in this situation is remove myself from the situation, and that's what I would do.
So do you have any more
questions, I guess, for the women? Because I can only speak on my opinion.
How do women respond to men either saying that their standards are too high? Do you think there's a such thing as too high of standards?
I do.
Do you think your standards can be too high?
I do. Some women will say he has to be 6'3", chocolate with pretty teeth, and make $150,000 a year and drive a Mercedes and live in Buckhead.
Right.
That's your standards are too high.
Right. Okay.
But to tell me that my standards are too high because I require you to call me regularly, to text me and see how my day is going, to take me out on dates.
And I feel like stuff like that, yes, it's wild that you could say that that's a requirement, but to me that should be like the bare minimum. Like, you should want to talk to the person that you're dating.
But some men will think that your standards are too high for wanting that in just the dating stage.
And those are the people who are basically saying that, the bar, then when I say the bar is in hell, the bar is in hell. Because I want you to talk to me. Because I want you to talk to me. You're telling me, I want you to communicate verbally on the phone with me. My standards are entirely too high.
Yeah. Because people have set the dating standard bar low.
Very low.
People think that you shouldn't give anything until you're in a relationship. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's not realistic. Like,
isn't this the tryout? Isn't this the test? Isn't this the internship?
Yeah, I wouldn't say be fully 100% committed but at the same time you give enough to where the person is interested in you and see, you know what I'm saying, see how people make you feel. Like, when you're around people that make you feel good, you don't have to question if their intentions are really pure. Like, when you're around your friends and it's like, oh no, these are good vibes, I feel like dating can be used in that same type of aspect. Like people who are around you that make you feel good and make you want to continue to talk to them and continue to date them. Those are the people that you should give most of your time with. People who, talk to you Monday and Friday and here and there and like where you at and you know what I'm saying? Like just sporadically, like we can be friends. Like there's nothing wrong with having opposite gender friends and y'all can be cool. Like yeah, we could go, have a drink, go get some food. We don't got to date. We don't have to take this like into a serious type of thing. And I feel like a lot of men specifically want to do that because they want to sleep with you and they want to, experience that. And they feel like the only way that they can do that is to get into a relationship or into date you. And it's, what I want you to understand is you can't sleep with someone into a relationship. That's just not realistic. That's just not, if you think that, okay, maybe if we have sex, then he'll stay or he'll be.
That's true.
That's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose every time. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't lose immediately or right now, it's bound to happen. Like it's literally that's men who have that, they have short game mentality. Like regardless of how long you make someone wait to sleep with you, if all they wanted to do was sleep with you, that's gonna come out after night 1. That's gonna come out after night 361 because it's like literally that's all. And I feel like every time a man plays that type of game and they lose in the end regardless. Like it doesn't matter how that short term mentality. Like it's okay to not sleep with every woman you find attractive. I promise you, you're not going to be able to.
Or for women to not sleep with every man that
it doesn't have to be like that. I feel like people miss out on a lot of good opportunities and good, just genuine relationships and friendships with people because they're thinking sexually like, oh well, we need to sleep together. It's not. It's not that big of a deal, It's like it's not, in my opinion, worth everything that's gonna come after it just to pursue a woman for X amount of time, and the only intention that I have is to sleep with her. That's just not. I mean, it's just after a certain time frame, you have to grow up. Just point blank, period. You have to get out of the high school, college type of mentality and understand that these are real people that deal with real things on an everyday basis, and it's like. These are real feelings, and people who don't understand that people have real feelings just like them are not people that I want,
That you want to be around. I have one more thing, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
Sure.
What do you think about people expecting too much too soon and too quickly? Do you think that women come into things expecting too much in the beginning?
Expecting too much, I don't know. Having expectations, they probably come in there with having expectations. But I feel like when it comes to expectations, I go into things not having them because I feel like if you can only be disappointed when you expect something, because when it doesn't happen, you become disappointed. So I feel like you shouldn't have expectations. You should more so just take people for what they're presenting you. And then base your expectations off of that because that's what you can actually see and that's what's actually tangible. But expecting too much or expecting something too soon just leads to disappointment because when the person can't give you what it is that, what you feel as if your expectations are, then that just cuts pretty much everything out. So going into any situation, regardless of what it is, I don't really set expectations. I kind of see where it is and where I feel like I base the expectations. I don't even say they're expectations at that point, but I set them based off of the stuff presented in front of me. So it's like, okay, this is what I have to base it off of. This is where you're at. So this is where I can base my expectations around because you're basing expectations off someone who's in their late 30s. You're putting those expectations on someone who's in their mid-20s, and that ruins that because in your head you feel like you should have X, Y, and Z.
Right, like he needs to be calling me every day. He needs to be doing this. He needs to be doing that. He needs to be paying for this. But it's like you should go off of
you should go off of the person you're actually dating, not off the person that you created in your head.
Exactly. That's a good one. Or what everybody else is telling you they should be doing.
And what everyone else is like is saying that you should be doing, or basically get off of other people's relationships, and because their relationship isn't your relationship.
Yeah.
Like how y'all move and how y'all operate is on y'all. It could literally be at y'all's own pace, and it could be slower than the rest of the world. But if it works for me and if it works for you, that's the only people that it matters to. Stop bringing outside influences to change your opinion on said person. Who cares? You're not the person they're dating. Like with me, I'm like, okay, I feel you. I appreciate your advice, but I'm gonna do what I want to do at the end of the day, regardless.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to go to sleep and feel as if every decision that I made, good or bad, was at least my decision. And I, whether it worked for me in the long run or whether I, learned from it, I can say that I was the one that made that decision. It's not like, well, I would have done this differently. Well, why didn't you do it originally? Why are you allowing other people to have so much outside influence and say in something that does not affect them? Because they're going to go back in their relationship and it's going to be perfectly fine because that's what works for them.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that works for you and y'all.
Well, I think that we have run over time. It was a really good discussion. Like, really good. And
Absolutely.
I hope that y'all got something out of it for
Absolutely.
men and women. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your perspective and respect your perspective.
No problem. Anytime.
And y'all go check out his live though. It's really good. Very, very good. And I'll leave it in the description. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good day. Let's see how this one looks. And it's literally that simple. So if you're ever doing an event, baby's breath is always gonna look good. And get you some greenery, and it's gonna be cute.